Hey there. So if you joined me live in my Facebook last night, you saw this card. And you probably thought, that's really cute, but you know what? It was a lot of measurements and cutting, and I'm going to show you how to get just as cute a card because, hey, this little dog is the cutest thing ever, but not so much cutting. So we're going to start with our Pampered Pets. We're going to start with our Playful Pets Designer Series paper, cut like I cut mine. If you aren't sure what this is, look back on one of our blog posts and I show you how to get yourself ready for a card kit. And I'm also going to use, this is the, I never remember its name, Crinkled Seam Binding Ribbon, my Memento, a few blends, and we're ready to go. So, first things first, let's talk about the cutting, and I did it first so I can just show you quickly. First thing, I need a card base. It is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and you get that by starting with a full sheet of 8 1/2 by 11, and you cut it down the middle at 5 1/2, and then you flip it and you score at 4 1/4. Card base, ready to go. I'm using thick Whisper White. Next, I'm going to use some real red cardstock, and I'm going to cut that at 4 by 5 1/4. Okay? Super easy. And while I'm at it, before I go too far, I'm going to take my seal and I'm going to put it down. Remember, I showed you how to use this last week, I guess I had a short video. The trick to the seal is make sure it's sticky right here. Roll it along, you don't have to be heavy-handed, and then roll and flip. So you roll your hand forward and then it's ready again. So tip it, see it's tipped forward, and then flip it up. All right, so I'm gonna center this right on my card front. This is not, oops, I messed it up, can I take it off? Not really, doesn't work very well. Then next, I need a piece of Designer Series paper, and that is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay? All right. And we're going to stick that down. Easy peasy. So there is the front of our card. Okay? All right, we're going to just set this over here for a second. And then this is what we're going to stamp on, and we're also going to stamp inside our card. So hold on to those. I'm going to take a piece of real red, and this is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and a piece of Designer Series paper, and that is 3 by 4. Okay? All right. And I'm going to flip that on, and I'm going to lay that down. There we go. Whoops, let me move that out of your way so you can see it better. So it's just stuck, ready to go. All right, now the ribbon. I'm going to take my ribbon, and I'm going to make sure it goes around that and add a little scooch extra, just so I don't have too little. And then I'm going to just take the middle, and I'm going to grab myself a pen, and I'm going to wrap it around the pen and double knot it. 1 and 2. And then just slide it off. Now I just need one itty bitty little glue dot. And if you don't put the glue dot, it's not the end of the world, but just pop the glue dot right there on the knot. And then I'm going to take this and go right across the bottom. All right. Flip it over. And then a little bit of seal and a little, I'll see if it does that and it doesn't catch. It's because I didn't roll it enough. And I'm going to bring my ribbon around and make sure it sticks in there, and then trim off my excess. Okey dokey, there we go. Flip this little baby over, and now I have this kind of weird looking thing. Let's zoom you in so that you can see. Right? It's a loop, and it's kind of stuck to the glue dot, which I don't want it to be. going to snip right on the diagonal down the middle of the loop. And then I end up with this cute little bow. See? Right there? Ready to go. Now I'm going to stick this down on my card so I don't have to worry about it. And I'm going to take my seal and roll and bring this in. And I'm going to put this kind of off and down so it's not quite up at the top so you can see you can see some of that designer series paper there. Now I'm ready to do my stamping. So I am going to stamp right here the sentiment, I hope your day is a real treat, but I want to leave room for the back of my cute little dog. Now remember I told you last night, if you weren't here, you can go back and watch it, it's on YouTube. The problem with blends is they kind of go through. They're going to bleed through to the back. So if I'm going to stamp my little dog here and then color it, it's going to show through. So you know what? I'm not going to color it. I'm just going to stamp him and he's going to be a cute little outline. And he's just going to go right here. And I'm going to leave him just like that. I'm not going to worry about trying to color him in. All right? So this is going to dry right here. And then I'm going to color this one on the front. So ink up my forward-facing buddy. Put him over to the side a little bit so I have room for enjoy. There he is. And I have enjoy. Make sure I've got it all inked up, and that's going to go right here. There we go. All right, cover back on the ink. And now I'm ready to color him in. I have dark smoky slate and light smoky slate. If you are not a blends user, you can use colored pencils. As we did on the inside, you could leave this just blank and not color him in at all. I'm going to start with the dark, and I'm going to use the stamp set as my guide, and I'm going to kind of go over the areas where I feel like there would be shadow. So where the fur is, a little bit here, under his ears, on the bridge of his nose. Make sure I don't get into his eye because I want to keep that little glimmer in his eye. And then I'm going to come back with the light. And I use the brush end, not the pointy marker end. And you just color this dude in. Now you're going to pick whatever color dog you're in love with. It could be your dog, it could be somebody else's. My dog is white, and I have a tan one. They're both Shih Tzus. I'm sure you've heard me talk about them. They are my fur babies. I have to stop talking for a second when I get to the nose. And then I'm skipping where the collar is because I'm going to come in and give that a little highlight. And the tail. Now this stamp doesn't have any ground under it. It just has the dog. There's also a set of dies that go with this. Now if you have the dies, you could do that and not worry about it coloring through because you would do it on a separate piece of paper. And then cut it out and attach it to the inside of your card. But hey, we're keeping this simple. We are making this a nice, easy card that's not stressful, not a lot of measurements. Add my collar. Oops, I just have to add his nose. He needs a dark black nose. And then for an extra little foof, if you want, you can add a little bit of Wink of Stella right on the nose. Because he's going to have a wet nose, because that's what dogs do. And then we're good. Now I'm ready to put that on here, and I'm going to use some dimensionals. So it's going to pop up a little. And as you can see, this one went way faster than last night, way less measurement. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look back on YouTube and you'll see it. The card's cool, but this is just as cute. And then lastly, I'm just going to take 3 of these sweet little red rhinestones and pop them on my card just to add a little bit of bling. Now, as I was saying, if you wanted to ground him, you want to add a little bit of ground under him, you can take, this is light crumb cake, and you can just add a little bit on the front. You don't have to, but you can. So now you can see this card, Hope Your Day's a Real Treat, and this is the one from last night. A few more steps involved. Both of them super cute. If you really like this one but you didn't want to do all the measuring, go with this one. Have a great day. Bye.